Happy Easter. Last week when we got the word awakening, I had forgotten that it was also the start of spring and the week leading into Easter. And so awakening was really just a perfect word for that. Sometimes you're just so tired of winter and you're just looking for something to bud and bloom. I saw that in my flower pot this week, and I walked out my door and it's like there was this profusion of bright orange flowers, and it just immediately lifted my spirits. And I had some awakenings this week. I was really touched by the fact that I need to disconnect more from electronics and be more present with people and give people my full attention. And I have the power to choose where my attention goes. And I want to be more mindful of that. And then I had another awakening because I went to a doctor's appointment, rolled out of bed. It was before work started, and I had no makeup on. And I was feeling like I looked pretty ratty. And the woman behind the counter just said the nicest thing to me. Just something like, "Oh, you look so pretty this morning." And I, of course, looked at her like she was nuts. And I'm like, "What? I have no makeup on. I just rolled out of bed. Wow." And she said, "Wow, you're really hard on yourself, aren't you?" She said, "You need to look at yourself the way other people do." I thought, oh, maybe other people look more kindly upon me than I do to myself. And I let in what she said, and it was an awakening. Don't judge yourself so harshly. Be a little kinder. Look through the lens of kindness and appreciation to yourself. She changed my day, and I hope that reminder helps yours too. May you have a beautiful Easter. One of my favorite sayings of all time is Mother Teresa, who said, "Never let anything so fill you with sorrow that you forget the joy of Christ risen." It's not over till it's over. Imagine how bad things looked to the disciples and to those who loved Jesus when he was there on the cross. It looked like, man, that was all that was written, that they had invested and given their lives to something that was dead. Until 3 days later. The story's not over. Never let anything so fill you with sorrow that you forget the joy of Christ risen. So on this Easter Sunday, let's say a little prayer for all of us, asking for a word. Oh, you know what's so funny? I forgot to mention, have you noticed something a little different? So part of my awakening was I wanted a new look. So in honor of my mom, who's coming for a visit this week, I went lighter. And I'm hoping it translates to having more fun too. So I wanted to acknowledge that because I know you're very observant viewers out there. Yes, I did change my hair. We'll do a vote later and see what you like better. So with that, show us, Holy Spirit, the word we need for this week ahead to guide our path, to give us courage, to help us. And the answer is surrender. The first picture that comes to my mind's eye is those old Nestea commercials, or was it Lipton, where you would just fall back into the pool and splash with abandon and sort of spread-eagled, not trying to make it look pretty, just giving yourself over to a thing. Now, you can't just give yourself over to anything. Surrender to love. Surrender to those kind thoughts that come your way. Surrender and give yourself fully to when someone says something and it touches your heart. Let it in. Surrender to it. Marinate fully in it. And then for some of you, it's saying it's time to wave the white flag. Maybe you've been holding on to something for way too long and it's not serving you. It's not doing you any good. It's actually hurting you. It's time to let it go. Surrender your attachment to that negative thing. And trust that you can move on without it. You can move on without it. Whatever it is. Only you know what that is, but that's a word for you. So let's surrender to a beautiful week. And again, happy Easter.